Hey guys, how are you doing today? I hope that your week has started off amazing because mine certainly has. And today, though, I want to talk to you about having problems because that's something that I am regularly approached with is what do I do when I have a problem? What do I do when everybody around me is acting insane and crazy and I know what the right thing to do is, but nobody's getting on board that I'm the one with the problem and I don't know what to do. I cannot function with all of these people around me doing all of this crazy shit. I just want it to stop. I can't handle it. What do I do? How do I get through it? Well, first of all, take a deep breath before you do anything. Because when you are in that excited state, you will do nothing more but create more of that. And you don't like it. Okay, so first thing, you just gotta breathe. The other thing, though, that you have to understand is that somebody else having a problem doesn't make it your problem. Because there will always be somebody who has a problem with what you're doing. Sometimes that person isn't around to voice their opinion, and other times they are. Other times they're so close you can't help but listen to all of the naysaying and all of their opinions about what it is that you are doing. Now, when you find yourself in a situation like that, it's pretty challenging to make a new action because you have found yourself in the midst of it and you are not prepared. And really, I wish I had better news for you, but if you're not prepared, then you're not going to make the better choice. You're going to subject yourself to them having a problem, and then you're going to make it your problem. Then you're going to figure out how to view things from their point of view, but you don't see it that way. You've basically taken what they've given you because maybe they have a lot of valid reasons behind it. They've got a lot of supporting evidence, if you will, but that doesn't mean that it's valid. But right now, most people just take that stuff on and they take it as truth. If somebody has a problem with me and what I'm doing, then there must be a problem with me and what I'm doing. We fail to realize that the reason they have a problem has nothing to do with us. And it probably isn't even based in reality. It's based in their reality, but it's not necessarily your reality. And when you cannot differentiate somebody else's reality from your own, you're just going to take it as your own truth. And then the wheels start turning, and then you're thinking, and then you get yourself in this negative feedback loop, and you're dwelling on what somebody has said to you. There really isn't very much that somebody could say to you that is true in the ways of a problem. When it comes to who we are as people and in our hearts and outside of all of this, oh, sorry about that, all this mathematical stuff, there really isn't any truth that somebody can give you about how to live your life that you should just take on right away without questioning it. Everything that somebody says to you, you should question it. Run it through your own system. And if you don't have your own system, you don't have your own set of values, boundaries, rules that you live your life by, then it's going to be really challenging for you to filter somebody's response or reaction. Really, it's just a reaction to you because you don't have a foundation set. You don't have a rule set. You don't know how to act in that situation. So they become the dominant one. They become the alpha, even if they are acting crazy, because you aren't prepared. The only way to get prepared, though, is to experience those situations and figure out what it is that you don't like, which is really, really easy to do. And then what is the exact opposite of that? Because every situation is like a stick, okay? There are two ends of it and they're opposite. One is pointing left, one is pointing right. You're at one end of the stick, you're seeing one end of the stick. And by acknowledging and recognizing that end of the stick, you are automatically then enlightened to what is on the other end of it. And then you can begin to shift yourself and face what it is that you do want and take the steps to get there. Yes, Sarah, and you know what? You bring up a very good thing about being empathic. you say you've been doing lots of research and you believe you're an empath, and it's hard to remember your beliefs and values and keep center when you are, and constantly feeling everyone else to the extreme around me. Absolutely. And most of us are there, and we do take that stuff on, and it gets so powerful that it just connects in. Something that something I will share with you is that, and I'm sure that a lot of you are already aware of this, is that there are cords created between people. Every interaction that we have creates a cord. So you watching me right now, whether you're live with me or you're watching the replay, by engaging with me, we have created a cord, and I can feel them, okay? But because the intention of this cord is simply to watch me, what I'm saying, listen to the information I'm providing to you, and that's it, there really isn't a whole lot that we're giving each other in a negative fashion, because we are both in a constructive co-creation here, okay? So every interaction we have creates one of these cords. The more that we are around somebody, the more that we involve ourselves with somebody, the more that we give of ourselves to somebody, the more that we love them, the more that we unconditionally love them, the wider this cord gets, the bigger this cord gets. And then it goes from a cord to what I call an energetic freeway, where there are no stoplights and the energy is just free flowing, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we have these freeways in place right now, and we can be doing just fine, and then somebody knocks us right off our feet. Nothing happened, nothing significant, and all of a sudden we're just devastated. Well, chances are you're feeling that other person. So that is a really good topic, and I think that's something that I will have to dive into in another video, but I do want you to be aware of that, because if you are aware that you have these heavy energy exchanges with people, it's a lot easier to insulate your, I don't like that word either, but it really is the best description, to insulate yourself from that so that you aren't receiving it on such a deep level, but you're also present in the situation and be able to respond to it without disconnecting, because that's what happens, is that we disconnect and then we can't get reconnected and things. I mean, it's, guess how I learned that? Yeah, Sarah, and it is something that I teach in my classes, and how to do that and build that, because a lot of us are here to help light up the planet, and to be able to do that, we do have to feel other people. We need to know where they're going through, what they're going through, because as we go on our journey, as we evolve ourselves, we will not return to those places that we've had those experiences. And we need to remember. So that's a way of doing that. So that can help to understand that too. But when it comes to people having problems, and when you find yourself in a situation where somebody is having a very outright problem with you, and there's a lot of heated emotions going on, the best thing you can do is just be prepared for that. Be prepared for the unknown, and choose how you want to respond in that situation. And I will tell you that I have had to not respond in many situations just so that I don't respond in a way that I don't want to, because I didn't know what to do. The only thing that I knew to do was not what I wanted. So I just didn't do anything. And that did result in maybe me not asserting myself so much, which was something that we empaths also learn how to do, is to assert ourselves. But, you know, I was able to go back and have conversation with those people again, and really come from a place that I wanted to. So rather than having to attack the situation right when I was in it, I allowed myself to step back from it and allow it to transpire, and then come back to it later. And it does take a little bit of effort that way, and it can be one of those things where you aren't sure how somebody's going to respond to you, but it isn't about how they respond to you. It's about showing up how you want to show up for you. That is it. It's not about tailoring your response to somebody else. It's not about making sure their little feelers don't get hurt. It's not about keeping your mouth shut. It's not about any of that. It's simply about living your truth and not fighting for it, but simply making your choice, and in the moment, standing up for yourself. And that's somewhere that you will get to. But it starts by not having a problem with somebody having a problem, because then we just feed into it. We we feel the fire that way. And that's why those situations never stop. And although we might not want to walk away from a situation and leave it unfinished, or you know, as much as we would want to please the other person, it isn't serving you to do that. You can see that in your life so far, because what has bending your reality, bending what you do to somebody else, what has it really ever gotten you? Just more of that. Then they expect you to just accommodate them all the time, and then when you stop accommodating them, then they have a problem with that. And then they'll try to get you back into the place where you were accommodating them, and you've got to be strong enough to stand up for yourself. Because that's what this is. It's not that you don't care about the other person. And a lot of people will think that this is a way to be selfish, and selfishness isn't really what you think. It's about putting the oxygen mask on you before you put it on the person next to you, like they tell you in the plane. You got to put on your oxygen mask first so that you can help. And you can't do that by taking on everybody else's stuff, by taking on everybody else's problems. And sometimes you have to just let that other person just deal with it, and you can't do anything for them. As much as you want to save them, as much as you want to rescue them, you just can't. And it is something you got to square with, but it's okay. Because in the end, in the grand scheme of things, whomever it is, you will get an opportunity to talk to them again, even if it's not on this physical plane. So, if that brings you some solace, knowing that eventually at some point in the infiniteness that you are, of your being, you will get an opportunity to rectify everything. It just can't be on your timetable, and you cannot waste your life fixing everybody else's problems or trying to figure out how they are right. It just isn't going to work. Clearly it hasn't. But when you choose, and you are deliberately choosing everything in your life, somebody else having a problem isn't going to shake you. So, progress. Progress, progress. Little bit by little bit. And one of my favorite sayings that my first mentor taught me, and I love it, and I repeat it over and over. It's inch by inch, it's a cinch. Yard by yard, and it's hard. So just take a little step, okay? If somebody has a problem, especially somebody who always has a problem, and there's somebody in your life who constantly has a problem with everything, you know, just let it go. Let it roll off your shoulders, and then go, okay, well, this is something where I need a new way to respond when somebody comes at me adversely. How do I want to handle that? I don't want to push them off. I want to show them unconditional love by listening to them, but I also do not have to accept what they say as my truth. What they are sharing with me, no matter how passionate or aggressive that they get with their truth, it is just their truth. That's it. And I have the opportunity to check their truth. Gail, that is perfect. You step back and you don't engage. But I get an opportunity to decide if that's my truth. They show me a whole new way of being that maybe I have or haven't done before. But it shows me I either do or I don't want to do this. And if I do want to do this, then I'm going to do it. And if I don't want to do this, what is it that I want to do instead? Just do your best, sweetheart. That's all you can do. And at the end of the day, tell yourself how much you love you. And at the beginning of the day, tell yourself how much you love you. All right, you're doing just great. I hope that this helped you, and if it did, please share this on your timeline. Feel free to tag me, tag people in the comments who you think would benefit from this. And also, if there's topics and things that you would like to discuss with me, or you would like me to discuss on a Facebook Live, please put those in the comments or shoot me a message too. There is so much out there to learn. There's so much out there to experience, and I want you to experience it all because I want to experience it all too. All right, guys. I love you. I got to go get the kiddos. I'll talk to you later. Bye.